It was a crisp fall morning in Chicago, and the bustling city was alive with the sound of honking cars, distant conversations, and footsteps echoing against the pavement. Downtown, inside a posh coffee shop with floor-to-ceiling windows and the aroma of freshly brewed espresso lingering in the air, William Carter, a self-made millionaire in his mid-50s, sat at a corner table. His sharp navy suit was perfectly tailored, complemented by a gold tie clip and designer leather shoes. Every detail of his appearance screamed wealth, success, and power, qualities he'd built his life around. William's focus was locked on his phone, scrolling through stock updates and real estate forecasts. His empire was booming, and today was critical. He was finalizing a multi-million-dollar deal to acquire Jefferson Tower, a historic downtown building. His plan was to demolish it and build luxury condos that would solidify his status as one of Chicago's most powerful developers. In William's world, there were winners and losers. He had no doubt which category he belonged to. Across the cafe, unnoticed by the busy crowd, a tall, composed man walked in, wearing a simple gray jacket over a black shirt. His stride was purposeful but relaxed, his presence commanding yet humble. He ordered a cup of tea and scanned the room for an empty seat. His gaze landed on William's table, one of the few spots left. The man approached with a polite smile. "Mind if I sit here?" William barely looked up, offering a distracted gesture toward the empty chair. "Sure, whatever." The man sat quietly, savoring his tea, while William resumed his intense focus on his phone. After a few minutes, the man glanced at William's screen, noticing a zoning report. "Real estate, huh? Looks like you're working on something big," he remarked casually. William frowned, annoyed by the intrusion. "Yeah, not that it's any of your business." The man chuckled softly. "Fair enough. But if I were you, I'd watch out for that new zoning proposal being discussed downtown. It might complicate things." William froze for a second but quickly dismissed the comment. How could this stranger know about the pending zoning changes? "I've got it covered," William snapped. "I don't need advice from someone who probably doesn't even own property." The man smiled but didn't respond, sipping his tea with serene confidence. After a pause, he added thoughtfully, Jefferson Tower has quite the history. It used to be a community hub. Ever think about restoring it instead of tearing it down?" William set his phone down, irritation flashing in his eyes. "Listen, I've been in this business for over 30 years. I'm not here to play preservationist. I'm here to make money." The man nodded slowly. "Sometimes, doing the right thing pays off in ways you don't expect." William smirked. "Nice thought. But in the real world, money talks." The man studied William for a moment, his expression unreadable. "People like you think success is about control. But sometimes control is just an illusion." Before William could respond, the man placed a few bills on the table for his tea. "Good luck with your project." And with that, he walked out. William shook his head, dismissing the encounter. He had more important things to worry about. 3 months later, William stood victorious. The Jefferson Tower deal had closed, and demolition had already begun. Investors were thrilled, and pre-sales for the luxury condos were through the roof. His name was all over the business headlines as Chicago's real estate king. But success has a way of inviting chaos. Out of nowhere, protests erupted. Community activists gathered outside Jefferson Tower, demanding its preservation. Social media exploded with hashtags like #SaveJeffersonTower and #StopTheDemolition. Local historians shared stories about the building's cultural significance, igniting a public outcry. Soon, city officials announced a surprise review of the demolition permits. The zoning board scheduled hearings to reevaluate the building's status. Investors grew nervous. Delays meant money lost. William was furious. He called his lawyers, his PR team, and his political contacts, but nothing seemed to work. Every day, new headlines questioned his integrity. "Heartless developer destroys city landmark," blared across TV screens. Late one night, after yet another crisis meeting, William collapsed into his office chair, drained. His phone buzzed, his assistant. "Mr. Carter, you're not going to believe this." Barack Obama just mentioned your project in an interview. William's pulse quickened. What did he say? She handed him her tablet, and he watched Obama speaking at a community event. There's a building downtown, Jefferson Tower. It's more than just brick and mortar. It's a piece of our shared story. Sometimes, progress isn't about tearing things down. It's about finding ways to build on what's already there. William's jaw clenched. For a moment, he felt exposed, as if Obama had personally called him out. But beneath the anger lay a nagging thought. What if he's right? That night, sleep eluded William. The next evening, he found himself driving downtown, unable to resist the pull of Jefferson Tower. He parked across the street and stared at the old building under the dim glow of streetlights. For the first time, he saw the intricate carvings along the windows, the weathered stone archways, the craftsmanship that no modern construction could replicate. He pushed open the chain-link gate and stepped inside the dusty, half-demolished lobby. His footsteps echoed through the hollow space. His gaze drifted upward to the grand mural on the ceiling, faded but still breathtaking. He imagined the lives that had passed through this place, the stories the walls had witnessed. Suddenly, memories of the strange man at the coffee shop flashed in his mind. The quiet confidence, the subtle warning. The next morning, William made a decision that stunned the city. He called a press conference and announced he was halting the demolition. Instead, he would restore Jefferson Tower, working with architects, historians, and the community to transform it into a cultural landmark with modern functionality. The backlash evaporated almost overnight, replaced by celebration. The protesters became volunteers. Media outlets praised William's visionary leadership. Even Barack Obama, when asked about the turnaround, smiled and said, "It's never too late to do the right thing." Months later, at Jefferson Tower's grand reopening, William stood at the podium, delivering a speech about lessons learned, not just in business, but in life. As the crowd applauded, William's eyes scanned the sea of faces until he spotted a familiar figure standing quietly at the back, watching with approval. Barack Obama. Their eyes met. This time, William didn't dismiss him. He stepped down from the podium, walked over, and extended his hand. "Thank you," he said earnestly. "I didn't see it then, but you were right." Obama smiled. Sometimes it just takes a little perspective. And for the first time in his life, William felt something more valuable than success. He felt human.